Hey guys, my name is Fannar Már Oddsson from Une Misère, and today we're going to be going through a rig rundown on our guitar and bass setup. So if we start with the guitars, we're using ESP and LTD guitars. We got an amazing endorsement from them and we couldn't be prouder to be using these wonderful guitars. Me personally, I've been using ESP guitars since I was 14. If we go with my main guitar right now, which is a LTD AA600, which is a signature series guitar from Allen Ashby. With the guitar in general, it's just no nonsense, straight to the point basically. Just one volume knob, one pickup. And talking about the pickups, we're using Fishman Fluence pickups. Out of all the pickups that we've tried and gone through, these are by far with the best clarity, but also with the best gain option. It is a sound that I cannot relate to anything else. It is absolutely perfect for us. And if we go with Gunnar's model, he is using a EC1000, which is a beautiful guitar. He's also rocking the Fishman Fluence. I do believe he has a, split coil switch. This guitar is absolutely beautiful and we couldn't be happier with these guitars. For all strings that we are using for the album and every single live show and everything we do with the guitars, we're using DR strings. These are by far the best strings we've used. The clarity and the endurance that you get from these strings, especially the DDT ones, they're absolutely phenomenal. I'm using a 12 to 60 gauge. Gunnar uses the 11 to 65 sets, which are a bit thicker, and he plays really hard. So considering as a guitar player of his standards, this is definitely something he needs. Around a year ago, we all decided to take a conscious switch to buy Kempers. This wonderful piece of equipment has absolutely changed our way of looking at live shows. Being able to have a consistent sound no matter where you are in the world or in the studio or for demo work or whatever you're doing. For the profile that I'm running right now for the live shows, I have a EVH 5150 that is just clean gain. Basically, I'm going for the kind of mid-crunch sound, but a bit more elevated gain. And for the leads or some of the stuff that I do, I like to have a sound that cuts through really well. Nothing that's too overpowering with the gain. So sometimes I lower the gain back. Sometimes I basically just let the Fishman pickups do what they can, which is wonderful. We want to have as big of a diversity of sound that we can have for the live shows, so to try to create this wall of sound and being able to bring every single studio element to the live shows. It's very important to us. And for example, the Game Changer pedals, the plasma pedal, this is something that we got from Game Changer Audio. Absolutely wonderful and unreal pedal. Almost HM2-esque distortion that has kind of a fuzz element, but with a completely different style. It has this like volatile sound that you can't really find out of any other pedal on this market. We also took a conscious decision of having the power rack option for the Kemper profiler that we have. Having the option to be able to have a cabinet on stage, depending on what venue and where you're playing in the world, it's very crucial for us to be able to have that option. Right now I have behind here a orange 2x12 closed cab. So for the bigger shows, we can use cab emulation. For the smaller ones, we don't really have to. But what we do is that we split the line of the cabinet that's going into the cab from the back, so that if we're running the cab emulation, it doesn't affect the sound that's coming out of the cab. Here we have Gunnar's Kemper rundown. We have a very similar setting, except he's running a Mesa Boogie triple rectifier. He has his own different sound with that. He also has to dial the gain tone for his own specific specs for the pedals that he's using in the remote and in the Kemper itself. We are using a couple of different wireless units. For me, I'm using the Line 6 G75, I believe, and Gunnar is using the Shure GLX D6, which is the tuner stomp wireless unit, which is extremely convenient because most of these you need to spend a shit ton of batteries on it, but this one can actually charge itself just through the Kemper, which is extremely useful. Most of the time Gunnar usually charges his vape, but when he needs to, he's got this here, which is good. The Kemper also has an amazing option that you can run any pedal that you want straight to the effects loop. So if you have a pedal that has too much gain or it's hard to profile, you can run it straight through the effects loop and then assign it to your remote, which is really convenient if you have a large stage and you can't really run all the way back, or you don't want to have the pedal on stage.
Hey guys, I'm Þorsteinn from Une Misère, and we're going to talk about my instrument. I have a Sandberg 35 scale Grand Dark. It has dark glass pickups for the bridge. It has like a coil split and all kinds of other EQ, and I just use the active pickups. And I also have like the Sandberg jazz pickups. I use DR strings for the bass. I have 145s for the low B, and if I'm not mistaken, like 185 and 60 for the other strings. My main sound live in the studio is this really basic pedal board. For the Sermon album, we just used the dark glass Microtubes X7, and live, that's pretty much my main sound. I just have the tuner and also have plasma pedal, game changer audio. Live, I use this one mainly for just really intense sounds, especially when I'm playing solo. I really like how it's built into how the pedal works, that it has a noise gate. So like it doesn't, like I really hated when I had some other shitty like high gain pedal that just feedbacks and hums. None of that shit here.
Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure to check out our new debut album, Sermon, out now on Nuclear Blast Records.